ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's now offers coffee subscriptions. You can order a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. You can choose from 3 collections, the Flavored Coffee Collection, the Roastmasters Collection, or the Disney Signature Coffee Collection. Each collection includes 3 bags per month. With the Joffrey's Coffee subscriptions, never run out of great coffee again. Learn more and order at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
There's no laughing. I haven't introed the show yet. Hey, everybody, I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. We are here for an exciting show. We're going to do a little pre-trip report with a couple super loopers. They've been planning their trip. It's been a roller coaster of a plan to get this trip going out there. But joining me right now is Sydney Seager. Say hello, Sydney.
Hello.
And her mom, Lisa Watson.
Hi there.
So, guys, you're going on a Disney trip.
Yes.
Now, before I get into this trip, I need to know, what is the Disney backstory? Sydney, did you convince your mom to be a Disney fan, or were you raised to be a Disney fan? Tell us the story.
I was raised to be a Disney fan.
Oh, you blame your mom.
My late husband made me a Disney lover.
Oh.
He lived in Tampa, Florida when he was very small, and his mother took him over there a few times. And when we got married, and we're talking about a honeymoon, he suggested Disney World, and I'm like, sure, okay, I've never been there. And we went, and it's just been a love affair ever since.
Oh, nice. And you were taking kids and all that after that?
Yep.
When was your first trip with kids?
It was 2003.
So do you guys normally travel as a family then together?
As often as we can, yes.
They've done solo trips. My mom and stepdad, they've done several solo trips for anniversary and my mom's birthday because they're around the same time.
Which we will be celebrating my birthday while we're down there too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't be wearing a button or anything that says celebrating.
You're going to be wearing a button and everyone's going to be wearing shirts that say it's her birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good idea.
See?
That's a good idea because we will be there on her birthday. We should get those shirts made.
Yeah, you should.
That's a good idea. I was telling you a little bit. The first time we took the kids in 2003, I can't do math very well. I think Sydney was almost 12 and my son was 10. So they were 11 and 10. And on the way to the airport, my late husband and I told him, okay, you guys, we are going to the happiest place on earth. We are entering a no whine zone. There will be no whining allowed. So we only had to remind him a couple of times that trip. But ever since then, on the way to the airport, it starts. We are in a no whine zone.
That is awesome to point that out because sometimes you see families who are having a little less than magical times in the parks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's all an attitude. I mean, it really is. This is going to be a very different trip, and I'm really excited to see how different it's going to be. I think it's going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
I think so too, because I'm sure you've listened to the show where lots of people have been going down, and they're saying this is like a once in a lifetime type of a touring experience.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've seen so many live feeds that people have been doing and showing how low the crowd levels are at any time of any day. It doesn't matter. It's so low. And that's the only thing that has really reassured me because I've never been where we didn't have, like, we always had our fast passes. We've always had our meal plan. And we've always had this has been a little bit more difficult for me with planning because I'm a very big planner. Everything has to be on a schedule. And this time it's definitely not that.
Well, I mean, we do still have a plan, and I'm very much a planner as well. I mean, I'm the one that started the spreadsheet of which park we're going to be at which day. And oh, by the way, we were supposed to originally go in May, and I started the spreadsheet when we first booked the trip last year. So that spreadsheet has really come in handy now that you have to have a park reservation in addition to your ticket. But I'm a little bit more open to change than Sydney is.
I have a hard time with it.
You admit
it. I admit it. It's just like how our resort that is basically our home away from home, Port Orleans French Quarter, is not going to be open, and we got moved to Caribbean Beach Resort. I'm coming around to the idea of not being at my home. But I've seen enough YouTube videos where it looks like it's going to be fine. It's just me getting used to change a little bit.
But you're going to have a whole bunch of new experiences over there. You're going to be in a different resort. One's been recently remodeled.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We haven't even touched on the Skyliner yet. You're going to have Skyliner access.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I really am.
That's another thing. She's excited, and I'm still, I'll wait and try not to judge until I've actually been on it without the air conditioning in the Florida heat.
Right.
But, if we can get on the Skyliner and be at Hollywood Studios in 5 minutes, you can't even get on a bus in 5 minutes, much less make it to the studios in that amount of time.
You might be sitting on the bus waiting to pull out for a good 5 or 10 minutes.
That's
easily,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I am excited, though, and I'm excited that my cousin Morgan and her daughter Ryder are going to be there with us for a few days. And seeing Disney through a child's eyes is something that's just going to be a whole nother level, because I know how it affects us. But seeing the magic with a child is going to be amazing.
Right. We were supposed to be there in May when Ryder, my great niece, turned 4. And we had it set up to eat with the princesses at Asker's house. What is it, Asker?
Akershus.
In Norway.
Yes, Akershus. Right. Mm-hmm.
So, but still, she's 4 years old. So it's going to, like Sydney said, just seeing Disney through the eyes of a child, especially one this is going to be her first time, is just, I'll cry. There's no doubt. I'll admit it. And it's just, I've read people saying, in my opinion, if this is your first time, you shouldn't go right now because it's just not as magical. But my argument is, if you've never been there, you're not going to miss any magic because you've never been there before. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'll say that's true, and I've actually said that, but I have not allowed for the fact that you're traveling with a veteran who knows everything.
Right.
So you're going to steer him the right way. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We're going to convert them so that she lives in Tampa. So hopefully, maybe in a few years, she'll be able to get an annual pass, and they'll be able to do it once or twice a year.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
So how many people are you traveling with down there? How big's your party?
My husband and I are leaving on the 10th, and then Sydney and her husband are traveling on the 11th, and then Morgan and Ryder are driving over on the 12th.
Nice.
So it's six of
us total.
Well, six of us for about 4 days, because Morgan and Ryder are going to be with us for 4 days, and then it's going to be 4 of us the rest of the trip.
You had almost an odyssey to get to this point in the trip, because you had booked your trip early.
Mm-hmm.
Then COVID started to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then work from home orders came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Online school came out.
Yeah.
And then they came out with this special recovery offer with free dining. And then they took the dining away.
Yes.
And then they closed some restaurants.
Yes.
And I know initially during part of this, that Lisa, from what I understand, you were in charge of making the dining reservations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So were you able to get a lot of what you wanted then? After that whole
Well, everything that was open.
Mm-hmm. Right. From what you had to choose from.
Yes, we got. But I mean, one of our favorite places that we were going to go to early in the trip was Chefs de France, and it's not open. And Monsieur Paul's, where my husband and I were going to go there after Sydney and John left, because it's really expensive, but it's really worth it. And it's not open. So of the places that are currently open that we wanted to go to, yeah, I got great times too.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Well, and we were even going to be a little bit adventurous and try a different restaurant that we'd never tried before that I've heard you talk about a lot on the show. Homecoming.
Oh, yes.
And we ended up seeing people talk about how Disney Springs isn't being regulated with their capacity like the parks are. Mm-hmm. And that started to make us a little bit nervous, mostly because of my stepdad, because he's higher risk. Mm-hmm. But we ended up, because it's also the Food and Wine Festival, and we looked at all of the options that they're going to have, the snacks and little things that we can get around. We ended up canceling Homecoming and deciding we're just going to go around and eat the Food and Wine Festival stuff.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm excited. All the macaroni and cheese. I'm a macaroni and cheese person.
It sounds like there's macaroni and cheese flights there, which sound fantastic.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. That and in the French pavilion, they've got that cheddar soup with a pretzel roll. It looks so good. I cannot wait to try that.
Oh, you have to report back on how that is, because that just sounds fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I was drooling just looking at the pictures of it.
Now, I understand. Now, Sydney, was it your husband? He had one stipulation for a meal, from what I understand, from what I remember. Was it be our guest for lunch?
Yeah, he wanted be our guest really, really bad. Mm-hmm. But he also, because out of me and him, I'm the planner, and I look at every menu item for every single restaurant and everything. He didn't realize that the menu had changed since we were there on our honeymoon in December of 2016. So I ended up telling him the options and what he wanted. I can't remember exactly what it was, but what he wanted was not an option for lunch anymore. So he gave that up.
Was it because the lunches went to like more sandwiches and that kind of thing than?
It was like more limited options is what it looked like.
Right.
Well,
and he's a picky eater, so. Yeah.
I don't know. I think since reopening, I don't think it was like this when we were originally supposed to go, but since reopening, Be Our Guest has also changed to the prefix menu for lunch too.
I think that's what he didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people, because they like a bigger variety, but when you go to that kind of menu, you have to make sure like all the items are kind of in the same price range, or else you're losing money on some things, and then your menu just looks out of whack.
And without the dining plan, we're on a little bit of a budget, so he cut that, and we're going to go back in a few years anyways for my mom's birthday in 2023. So
it's always good when It's always good when you have another trip planned. You don't feel like you have to get everything in.
Yeah. We try to go at least once every 3 years, because you really got to plan it when you live out of state and have to plan for travel and everything and budget.
Right.
But I don't like waiting longer than 3 years. I start to get the Disney itch and I got to go.
Right. You end up listening to a podcast and some crazy guy, and it's just horrible.
I actually have been listening since before our honeymoon in 2016.
Wow.
So I just get so excited every episode. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go back to Disney.
Oh, you're too kind. What are each of you most excited about doing on this trip? Because you've had a long road to get here. You're going to go. What are you mostly looking forward to?
It's really funny because if we had done this and we had gone in May, I would have had a completely different answer. But now, after basically sheltering in place since March 18th. Not that I'm counting.
Right.
I'm really, really excited to go somewhere.
Yes.
And just the fact that it's Disney just makes it that much better. I'm really, really looking forward to this being a slower paced and more relaxing trip, but still being able to ride and do every attraction that we want to do without rushing.
That's great. I can see a lot of people that take advantage of this time, if they're feeling safe enough to go, enjoying the pacing and building that into their next trip. Mm-hmm. We don't have to go, pedal to the metal from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. We can space things out and enjoy the ride, enjoy the scenery, do some different things.
Yeah. Because we've always been go, 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 because we have our planned fast passes, our planned meals, everything's on a time schedule. And this time we really don't have that. I mean, we've got our planned meals for the most part, but we're not on any kind of timeline with rides or anything. But
what are you most looking forward to?
Honestly, it's just seeing the castle and walking down Main Street. I'm going to cry so hard. I always do when I see the castle, but this time it's so different.
It will be. You won't be the only one walking in that's doing it. I think mostly everybody that's going into the park now that hasn't been for months at this point are going to be getting emotional.
Yep.
Yeah. We love Disney so much. It's literally a home away from home for us, and it's our happy place. We just feel our happiest there and our most at home there. So it's pretty emotional already anytime we get to go back. But after everything going on right now with the coronavirus and everything, it's just that much more emotional to get to go back.
I've read so much about all of the safety protocols that Disney's put in place, and read so many people saying that they felt better and safer in the Disney parks than they do going to their grocery store at home.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes.
Yeah. They're sanitizing everything throughout the day. And then after people leave the parks, the hand washing stations and hand sanitizer stations everywhere, even in queue lines, and them regulating masks being worn and temp checks and all of that. It makes me feel much safer because they don't do that at grocery stores. They're not going to check your temperature or anything, but Disney's really taking it seriously. And I like that.
I like how you were very proactive. You decided, like we were talking about homecoming, that you have a member of your party who's a little more susceptible or a little more concerned about, and you decide to change your plans a little bit. So you're not going to have any worse of a time going to the Food and Wine Festival. You might have a better time.
Yeah.
all that food looks fantastic. So I think everybody could take a lesson from that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. We're very, very excited about that. And we go to Disney Springs every time we go, but it's not like there's much there that we haven't done already. And it's not as emotional being there as it is being in the parks and experiencing everything that all the parks have to offer.
Right. And when you're going you're going a long way for a trip and you've been, denied and looking forward to, and your dates pulled away and your dates put back on for further down the road, that's where you kind of want to be. So I could totally get that.
Yeah. And it's going to be really nice, with not having to worry about park hopping, because we've always park hopped. We've always gone to one park during the day and had dinner at a different park.
Usually we've done that.
Yeah, usually Epcot. But this time we had no choice but to pick a park and stay at that park. And now we get to have even more time at the parks because we're not having to go from one place to another, and that's wasted time in between.
What's something you hope to do on this trip that you wouldn't normally do? So now you're in a park. I don't want to say stuck in a park for the whole day, but you're limited to the one park per day. What's something you think you might do in one of those parks that you haven't done before?
Well, there's so many rides we haven't been able to ride before because we've been on time constraints. There's rides that we just walk right past because we don't have enough time to ride because we have to get to another park for a meal. I haven't even been on the Carousel of Progress before. And
what?
I know. And all the times that I have been to Disney, I have never rode the Carousel of Progress. And that is at the top of my list.
I hope so. I'm shocked.
I know. And I know.
No, that's awesome.
I've never been on Dumbo or Peter Pan's Flight.
I don't even understand this family anymore.
Because we always wanted to do those
popular
rides.
Right.
And Sydney and Mark were not that little the first time we went.
I get
in
it.
my mind, for whatever reason, those were little bitty kiddie rides, right? Well, I'm more educated now, so I know better. And having Ryder with us as well, being a 4-year-old, it's going to give us the opportunity, not that I guess we need an excuse, but to ride all of those, not big rides. You know what I mean?
Right. All the little nuances of the park.
Priority to do the smaller rides this time.
Oh, I'm getting jealous now. This is going to be a fantastic trip for you guys. I might show up at your door with a suitcase. I'm just going to have to let you know.
Come on.
Oh, that's okay. Come on. The more the merrier.
That's right.
All right, guys, before we wrap it up, because you've been gracious enough to come on come on after your trip. So we'll do a full post report with everything you've done. So
okay.
Is there anything that I didn't mention that you think you'd like to get out there that you maybe have planned? You think it might happen, might not happen? Anything you're super looking forward to? I know we've talked about a little some of this before, but
I read about people saying, I can't believe that you're going to Disney during a pandemic, and what's the matter with you? Are you crazy? At some point you have to live your life, and in my opinion, you just need to be aware and safe. So we'll wear our masks. We will social distance. We will wash our hands every opportunity that we can. We'll use the hand sanitizer. We're bringing our own hand sanitizer and wipes. But at the end of the day, I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to hide in my house for months and months and months anymore.
Were the people saying this kind of thing not wearing masks at all?
Yeah.
I just wondered.
There's a lot of those.
Of them, it's kind of scary. But for me, I think I'm more excited. I mean, of course, to be there, but I want to test some stuff out. Like I had mentioned earlier about posted wait times not necessarily being accurate because of the lag time with them shutting the ride down to sanitize. I'm also curious as to how much has changed, and just see how much has changed on rides, and what did they change because of high touch areas and whatnot, and just kind of, I don't know, experiencing Disney at a different time.
Tower of Terror. Apparently,
oh my gosh.
She doesn't like those kinds of rides. And I'm telling her, it's just an elevator. It just goes up and down.
Hey, that ride is nothing like Alien Encounter was when I was a kid. That ride scared me to death. It scared me and my brother. Because we were 11 and 10, and it was a dark ride. I think it's where Stitch's Great Escape was. Before that, it was the Alien Encounter, I believe.
Yes.
And it was where the alien would break loose after all the lights shut off, and the alien's walking around, and you can feel it breathing on the back of your neck. And as a little kid, that really, really, really scares you. So I think Tower of Terror is nothing compared to that ride, but for a 4-year-old, yeah, it's probably going to scare her.
I personally don't like the free fall sensation or the being pulled down sensation, so
yeah,
there's that.
Yeah, that's
just me.
Something I kind of have to ignore. But
that's my favorite part.
I ignored that one, but that ride also is the reason why my aunt Rita will never trust us with a ride again, because we told her it's just an elevator. It just goes up and down. You'll be fine.
Oh.
And she got off that ride and barely spoke to us.
Hashtag it's just an elevator.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I can't wait to hear a wrap-up report from you when you get back.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you
it's exciting.
for allowing us to come on.
Oh, anytime. I want full menu reports. I want dining reports.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to take a ton of pictures and post them on Looper Nation on Facebook.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, and I've already promised one of my coworkers who lives in Florida and also is a Disney freak a picture of the castle with no people around it, because I've been seeing a lot of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there are going to be a picture opportunities that won't be had.
Oh, yeah.
That's another big thing that I'm excited about. We can actually get decent pictures without a crowd of people in the background.
Yep.
Yeah, back in the day, you had to be the very first people in the parks to the very last people out of the parks with like a late dining reservation. And,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And meander slowly out the gates. Not that I've done that. Right. Lisa, if somebody has any questions for you, they just want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
I'd be glad for people to email me, Lisa_Claiborne, and it's spelled like Liz Claiborne, at hotmail.com.
Very nice. How about you, Sydney?
I'm on Facebook at Sydney Jane Seager, Instagram SJ Seager, and Twitter Sydney Jane Seager.
And I think you're also in Looper Nation Live. Am I correct?
I am on Looper Nation Live. I was just on there today.
Yes, you were. Well, guys, again, thanks for joining us. I'm going to wrap us up real quick. Everybody, if you're thinking about booking a trip, you can look us up over at ResortLoop.com. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. Everybody, you've been listening to the Gateway to the Magic. Guys, you know how we sign off a show?
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.